Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks are surging right now. They're hot. They just beat up on the Pistons. That's not a big feat, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, the game was closer than I thought that it was going to be. The Pistons, tired of getting their butts kicked by the Knicks, put up a tougher fight than I thought, but the Knicks won the game by 13 points. And they've been winners in 14 of their last 20 games, ladies and gentlemen. Here's my 5 takeaways from the New York Knicks' current surge. Number 1, because it hasn't been all peaches and cream, hasn't been pretty all the time. They've struggled to protect leads in some of these basketball games. In 16 of the Knicks' last 20 games, they had double-digit leads. Double-digit leads, ladies and gentlemen. You see it on your screen. Some of the leads were big leads. A 28-point lead over Atlanta. 26-point lead over Charlotte. 30-point lead over Chicago. 38-point lead over Golden State. A 32-point lead over the Phoenix Suns. And they kept the leads in those games. But look at the orange boxes on your screen, and I'm going to blow it up so you can see it a little bit better. 14-point lead over Chicago. They won by 8. That's not too bad. 13-point lead over San Antonio. They won by 3. 17-point lead over Toronto. They won by 4. 25-point lead over Indiana. They won by 6. 15-point lead over Washington. They won by 4, ladies and gentlemen. And if you look at the blue boxes, these are games that they lost when they had a double-digit lead. A 14-point lead over Philadelphia. They lost by 7. We're not going to rehash this entire thing with Dallas. We know what happened there. But a 12-point lead over Dallas, they lost by 5. And a 17-point lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, and they lost by 4 points, ladies and gentlemen. I guess I should be encouraged that they've been able to amass 16 double-digit leads in the last 20 games. Because that's some good basketball. Now, they got to keep the lead. And I know it's happening across the league. But you got to keep these leads, ladies and gentlemen. Albeit 16 double-digit leads. They lost some of those leads, but they only lost 3 of those basketball games. I'm not exactly sure what the answer is. I don't know if Tom Thibodeau knows what the answer is, ladies and gentlemen. But they've got to figure it out. They want to be a playoff team. If you want to advance in the playoffs, you got to figure out how to protect these basketball leads. My next takeaway is Julius Randle's resurgence. Ladies and gentlemen, Julius Randle, I didn't expect Julius Randle to come back the way he has. I wasn't sure if he could, let me say that. Because it was a tough season last year. It was tough for Julius Randle. He went through it. And maybe he learned a lot from it. But over the last 20 games, and actually for the entire season, Julius Randle's been cooking. He's averaging 24 points per game on the season. But over these last 20 games, Julius Randle has been one of the top players in the league. He's averaging 28.6 points per game. That's 10th in the league. 13 rebounds. That's 2nd in the league. Shooting 45.9% from the field. Shooting 35.9% from 3. Only averaging 2.6 turnovers per game. And along the way, he's been able to amass some impressive accomplishments. Over the Detroit Pistons, or against the Detroit Pistons, he was able to surpass Bernard King for 25th on the Knicks all-time scoring list. He now has 5,486 points. Julius Randle is 20th on the Knicks all-time rebounding list, 2,524 rebounds. And he's 8th on the Knicks all-time three-pointers made list with 461 three-pointers made. Impressive numbers for Julius Randle, without a doubt. Some nice accomplishments. Will he be an all-time Knick? We'll see. I'm going to talk about that later on today. When it's all said and done, though, Julius Randle and the New York Knicks have got to make the playoffs and start to make some noise in the playoffs. If you want these accomplishments and numbers to mean anything, that's what has to happen. Now, Julius Randle, ladies and gentlemen, this is his 4th year with the New York Knicks. If the Knicks make the playoffs this season, if he is able to become an all-star this season, it'll be 2 of the 4 seasons that he's with the Knicks that he's been on an all-star team and helped to lead the Knicks to the playoffs. That's something, that's a feather to put in your cap. Let's see where it goes, ladies and gentlemen. But very good numbers from Julius Randle. Let's hope that he continues to play this style of basketball and play with the freedom at which he's playing with, because the Knicks need him to do so. And one of the reasons that Julius Randle is playing so free right now is Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's leadership, ladies and gentlemen, over these last 20 games and actually for the entire season has really helped the New York Knicks to success. I can't say enough about him being the engine, him being the brain, him being the guy that everyone else relies upon when he's on the floor. And over the last 20 games, ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Brunson, 24.1 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 6.6 assists per game, shooting 46.4% from the field, 46.3% from the three-point line, and 83.7% from the free throw line. And get this, folks, he is 10th in the NBA. And this is live, so if I make a mistake, don't laugh. This is 10th in the NBA in clutch scoring. Jalen Brunson, 10th in the NBA in clutch scoring over the last 20 games. And actually, I think for the season, he's like 6th in the NBA in clutch scoring. 4.9 points per game these last 20 games for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. It's leadership from Jalen Brunson. Big-time leadership. He brings it every single night. And when it's crunch time, you want the ball, I want the ball, we all want the ball in Jalen Brunson's hands. And folks, this is the first time that Jalen Brunson is playing the amount of minutes that he's playing. The first time in his career. This is the first time in his career that he is the primary guy on the team. And he's handling it in stride. You can't ask for him to do a better job. And folks, he's probably just going to get better. Knicks did a good job with Brunson. No doubt about it. Now, although Jalen Brunson is killing it, the bench continues to need some help. It's my 4th takeaway. Especially during the time when R.J. Barrett was out and even Jalen Brunson was out. Emmanuel quickly had to step into that starting lineup, and he did a fine job. He did a pretty good job. But it left the bench bare. Bare, ladies and gentlemen. Now that RJ is back, Emmanuel quickly goes back to the bench, and it helps to give the bench a boost. Obi Toppin is back. Hopefully, Obi can help give the bench a boost. Hasn't really happened yet, but let's see if it does. Hopefully, quickly, and Obi can refine the connection that they had earlier in the season. But the Knicks need to put this on their list. Whatever their list is, whatever they have on their board to make moves at the trade deadline, the bench needs to be the priority. They need a wing that can defend and score. They need help on the bench. Derrick Rose, Evan Fournier, Cam Reddish, they're not going to give it. One, Cam Reddish ain't going to play. Derrick Rose doesn't seem like he's able to give it right now, and Evan Fournier is always going to be up and down. So the Knicks need consistent help on the bench, ladies and gentlemen. That's got to be the number one priority of the front office. Get bench help. And lastly, the New York Knicks, over the last 20 games, ladies and gentlemen, have been a top 5 team in the NBA. And I'm not just making this up. I'm not just saying it to say it. These are facts, ladies and gentlemen. Over the last 20 games, the New York Knicks are 14-6. That is the 5th best winning percentage in the league. Their offensive rating, ladies and gentlemen, is 18.2, 5th in the NBA. Their defensive rating, 110.1, 3rd in the NBA. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the New York Knicks have been a top 5 team in the league over the last 20 games. We'll see if they can continue to play at this level. They're going to have a chance, ladies and gentlemen, over the next 5 games to create some space between them and whoever's behind them. The Miami Heat are surging right now themselves. They're 24-20 on a season. And they're right behind the New York Knicks, like a half a game behind the New York Knicks for that 6th spot. But the Knicks, they play Toronto later on today. They got to play the Wizards again. Then they play Toronto again. They're going to have a chance, ladies and gentlemen, to create some cushion. And they need to, because once they finish up this stretch of basketball, these next 4 games or so, it gets tough for Cleveland, Brooklyn, Boston, Miami. But ladies and gentlemen, they've been a top 5 team over the last 20 games. We'll see if they can continue to do so. Can Julius Randle, Jalen Brunson, can they continue to do so or do what they've been doing? I don't want to leave out RJ. His presence, his return to the team helped to add to the depth. And you know what RJ can give you. I'm not downplaying what he can give you. Quentin Grimes, Mitchell Robinson, their defense. Mitchell Robinson with the offensive boards. Quentin Grimes with the shooting has really helped to propel this team forward. Let's see where we can go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are my 5 takeaways from the Knicks' current surge. I want to know what yours are. Let me know what they are, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate your time. I'm out of here. Peace.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.